Hey guys, I wanted to go over my TSLint configuration. If you haven't heard of this, this is very similar to ESLint in JavaScript. So this basically looks at your code and finds like extra things, code style, that sort of thing that you can stay consistent throughout your whole project. And if you don't know what it is or haven't used it before, highly recommend checking out because it just makes your code a lot cleaner and a lot more systematic, and basically your coworkers and yourself will be able to make your code more readable for everyone. Okay, so one thing that makes it a little bit harder when using TSLint is I like to use something called Prettier. And so what Prettier does is this works with Typescript as well, and it formats my code automatically, so it doesn't need me to do anything. But what happens is Prettier will format my code and it'll make it a different style than what TSLint likes. And so TSLint will be like, hey, that's bad code after Prettier formats it. So this causes a little bit of a problem. But there's this really nice library called TSLint Config Prettier. And what this does is this gets Prettier and TSLint to work together and play nice. So I'm going to show you an example of what my TSLint looks like. So this is with a React application. And you'll notice all I'm really doing is I'm extending the latest React and Prettier, just like that. And that'll pretty much give me everything I need for Prettier and TSLint to work together. Now React is optional. So for example, you can also use this in non-React applications like Node.js applications if I'm building like an Express server or with Prisma. And that's actually where I started using TypeScript, with Prisma. And with that, I use the same configuration, but I just get rid of the React. And I will put a link in the description below for both of these if you want to see these both TSLints and you can use them. So this one I like to use for React and this one I like to use for Node.js. They're the exact same. And you'll notice I have a few more rules right here that I like to turn off. So I like to keep console logs in, and I just like keep a note to myself to remove them later, or like when I'm building I'll turn it on or whatever like that. And then here's just some ones that are just like rules I found annoying to follow, and so I turn them off. And so yeah, if you're ever just using it, feel like using TSLint and it's like, man, why is it asking me to do this? First, I'd recommend actually Googling a lot of the rules. They'll actually have explanations of why it's a good idea to follow that rule. And then if you're like, you can either just disable it for that line or remove it altogether. But this is pretty easy to configure. If we take a look at what to do, you just add this thing as a dependency. So, and actually it's shipping as a dependency now. So this is using create React app. So I did create, this is what I ran to create this project, create React app demo, and then I used the React scripts TypeScript. So this created a TypeScript application for React, and it automatically sets up a TSLint for me that looks pretty good. They're using TSLint recommended instead of TSLint latest, which is a little bit different, but I don't really know the differences. I haven't had any problems with latest, and I believe latest is what they recommend here. So yeah, they recommend latest on the TSLint config Prettier, so that's what I was using that for. And then I don't think I have any user settings turned on, but here are my user settings for Visual Studio Code. I don't think I have anything special to have Prettier and TSLint work together. I did have to do ESLint integration true, but this shouldn't be really affecting that. And I do have editor format on save, so every time I save, Prettier will run and format the code for me. And if we want to just see that in action, we can come over here. So if I were to get, tab this awkwardly, right? Or maybe I forget a semicolon there, and I don't know, maybe we use double quotes or something like that. Oops. And we could save and see, notice how it just like styled everything. It changed all these to double quotes so it's consistent across the board. And so that's what that stuff does, and it doesn't have any red lines afterwards, which is nice. And then if you don't have TSLint Prettier, or like if you're not building this with a kind of like a starter kit, so like this is Create React App, I already installed all these things for you. To install this on your own, and oh, that's kind of cool, it ships with images.d.ts. I didn't know that. Anyway, you install 3 packages. So if you look at dev dependencies, it doesn't actually show it because it's Create React App. But what you'd want to do is do yarn add, and okay, you're AC. I've done this plenty of times before. So you install TSLint and then TSLint config Prettier to set up new projects with TSLint, and then you just create a tslint.json and you either use these rules, which look pretty good, or this is what I like to usually use. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. That's my configuration with TSLint. Let me know if you guys use any tips or tricks with this that you'd recommend me trying out. I am pretty new to using TSLint and Typescript in general, but I've been pretty happy with my setup so far. But that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.